Hello. Welcome. Today I'll be doing some drawing. Not really, because I just wanted to take a little look back on the year in review, just a little bit. Cause no, cause no, just I'm stumbling upon my words now. I started to record, which is really stupid. I need to stop doing that so much. Yeah, so basically, I just really wanted to do a year review, just to collect my thoughts on how this year has gone. Not really this year. This is it's 4 a.m. on the New Year's, and there's not really much to do except for retrospectively think about a whole lot of different things that has happened across the year. I mean, I think the world's getting. I don't know. I'm not really following the news. I think the pandemic has steadily kind of eased out, kind of. So, uh, okay. I'm just trying to think a little bit about how the composition's supposed to go. I mean, it's not like it should really matter considering I really just started I picked up drawing very recently. I just needed something to do while I spoke, I guess. And what better way to do than to uh, just draw while that happens? Helps me focus and not lose track of drawing, I guess. So yeah, the year's gone by. It's just another year in the many years that will go by and still keep going by. Uh, but at it's at the juncture where every so often you should look back on yourself and think about things that the things that you've done. This composition looks pretty bad, huh? Yeah, every so often you gotta just you know reflect on all your journey. And this year has been a particularly interesting year. I feel like I've been. I mean, maybe it's really this end of year syndrome that people always enter, where you just always where you just end up just a little bit melancholic about the things that you've done and the things that you've yet to accomplish, despite wanting to do so the previous year. And yeah, I think it's something like that. I think this kind of composition should work out quite well. But yeah, I don't really, I didn't really come in here with a plan really. I thought about it. I was like, I should do something for the end of the year, because it's just a reflection. Like, I think I'm getting cut off at too many train of thoughts because I'm just kind of mindlessly trying to think of the composition of this, how this should go. This is somewhat where I want the body to be, and I really need to draw transfer Omnite over here. It's just letting you know on the plan. I'm not here just drawing out of without a plan or anything. That's what I thought to do already. I thought this through, okay? I did try to think this through. It was just an inspirational thing. I just thought about it. But yeah, when I got interrupted by my train of thought just now, I think what I wanted to do was talk about we should always reflect on the things that we do over the year. And I think this year particularly has been a little bit like a little bit of a. I feel like I've been more sentient this year than any others. You know, you ever get that feeling? Like, ever get the feeling that you've been more connected to yourself than ever? Because that's kind of like a little bit of what I'm feeling, I guess. I mean, it might not make too much sense considering I'm like cutting off a little bit, just thinking about like like how to like properly get this drawing in place. But I start to think, you know, this year what I mean by being sentient this year is kind of like, I feel like I've thought about everything the most over the course of this year compared to any other. Something like that. But like, it's getting a little bit caught up again in the drawing. But you know, it's kind of like, it really is when you're at the end of the year, you just start to think a lot of different things. And you just like start to wax sentimental, I guess. Look at Minecraft thing now. So I don't know if it's just because it's like the new year or anything. I've never really thought much about the new year. The new year didn't really mean too much to me, like ever. But like, you know, maybe it's just a New Year syndrome that I'm thinking back on all of this. That I've moved through quite a lot more things in life throughout this 1 year than I have in many. Oh, that took like fucking 7 minutes to get to a single point in this like gigantic rant, didn't I? I should like find some way to like chapter the videos. Maybe I should chapter this video, you know. But then I have to like sit through this like the entire time, you know. And that's not very fun, yeah. Nobody really likes to sit through their own videos too much, I think. But yeah, it's that I feel like I've progressed a lot more in this 1 year than I have over the course of quite a while. Like, I've been thinking about a whole lot more things than before. And it's kind of weird because it's like, it barely feels like it's been a year. More like I feel like for one of the few times it's felt like it's been way more than a year. Maybe it's because I've like this, like everything's over and I've just attained this giant measure of freedom to do things that I don't know what I want to do. And I realize I've never known what I wanted to do. And like, now here I am kind of like drawing and just trying to get myself into the groove of everything. It's not a good selection at all. Just something like that, yeah. Hello? Yeah, trying to get back into the groove of everything. Trying to figure out how to move forward, you know. composition keeps getting worse and worse. Yeah, because back to the point, you know, instead of me like trailing off every so often because I'm drawing, because had a lot of, because of all this freedom, I've had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do, and I realized I had nothing much I really wanted to do. But then what it is that I kind of knew exactly what I wanted to do already, basically. I mean, in a sense. In a sense, you know, everybody has dreams that, you know, I realize I've never tried to pursue is the one thing I realized I've missed out on for my whole life. I've never really tried to do something. I thought everything would just fall into place. And that's a little bit of a depressing way to put it, but you know, you never really think about it until you actually think about it, yeah? But yeah, and then it's just led to realization after realization that a lot of my life has been left behind me, and yet I still don't know how to draw, you know. You know what I'm saying? Just trying a different technique to like map out the hand, arm more like, and it's failing very miserably. You couldn't tell already. It started off so much better than I thought it would. I might just redo this. What do you think about it? Okay, let me just try to focus on a little bit of the actual content of the video. Looking at the year in the review, it's been like a whole year, and like the year really truly only began for me at halfway through, when I got to get out of, you know, mandatory obligation number 1 in this country. And no, number 1 is wrong. Number 1 is on education. Number 2, we'll call it number 2. Yeah, it has really only begun since after that, and it's kind of, and then it's just been a whole lot of wandering in the middle of nothing, you know. You get what I'm saying? And then you just don't really, you just kind of get lost. I mean, it's like I realized that I had nowhere to go only after it was, you know, done and that. Like after it was all said and done, I realized I'm kind of just stuck here with nowhere to go, you know. Where do I go from here? Everything so far has been kind of mandatory, and I've just been bet into it. And like, made me really think about what I really wanted to do. Sure, you could hear all of that clicking of my favorite button, Control Z. Need the face to be a little bit in focus, so the head should go approximately like here, right? But forgive me if like if you clicked into this like thinking this is gonna be like, I mean, this is like literally like 15 minutes in. Maybe I'll just add like a disclaimer at the start. I am not a good artist. Like, forgive me if you clicked into this ever like thinking this is gonna be like legitimate art. and you just saw someone spend 15 minutes like draw out an outline just to erase everything. But this is just kind of like a rant video where I just like think about the things I've done. So the head should go somewhere around there, therefore, and like Almanite should come around somewhere here. Which mean the hand goes here. The body, based on the proportion of the head, comes about here. Oh, I didn't really say anything about what I was gonna draw, but I need to draw something to like represent my character a little bit, or my online personality that I don't have. I don't know. It's just something that, you know, came with the realization of over this year. I wanted to do it for so long, and I just never done it. Why? I mean, and then I just started, and you know, it's not really going very well, but you know, it's good to reflect on it every so often. Yeah. The perspective is really weird, huh? Oh, I should have seen something about foreshortening before doing this, huh? Fuck me, mate. Yeah. Back to the topic before I keep getting sidetracked by doing drawing. Is that feels like this is the big year where I've stopped being stagnant. Where I realized that I had to do things for myself, and that's just kind of like this year in review, which is why it kind of feels like it's been way more than before. Like maybe it's also because of the idleness that came with it, because I didn't have anything to commit myself to. Yeah, but having that does kind of take a toll on you a little bit. And you start to think, man, what have I been doing all of this time? You just start, and then like, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do this. I'll start singing. I mean, may as well, right? I started singing. And it wasn't even that many months ago, honestly, was it? How long ago was that even? Wasn't that long, huh? But yeah, I mean, I started singing, and then started drawing even less time ago. Do like playthroughs, you know, reminds me to upload the playthrough of Ender Lilies, you know, just, you know, have that in the backlog. Haven't really edited it because I've been really lazy. Definitely been really lazy. No, kind of. I mean, because there is no commitment, so it does end up feeling like I could do it at any time, and then it does kind of go into a mad struggle to, you know, get myself to do something. Just want to map out the thickness of the hand a little bit better. Something like that, I guess. Yeah, this has been a really, really long year. I feel like it just feels long. But then again, that I guess I feel like a lot of people would feel like the previous 2 years have been ridiculously long. And honestly, I can kind of see where they're coming from, I guess. Because at the end of the day, it has been 2 years where we just suddenly entered a, new way of life, and it does kind of work out in my favor, honestly, when all things said and done, because I prefer staying at home. I mean, we can all see where the root of the problem originates, I guess, with that. This body proportion looks so weird. I feel like I fucked up somewhere. I think I did. Wait, okay, let me try to... It was really a really weird idea, to have decided to start to do drawing while trying to like detail my thoughts when I'm not really good at drawing. So it's been like sidetracking me this entire time. You know, hindsight 2020. 2022. Jesus. Oh shit, no. Hindsight 2020 means the eyesight. Fuck. Yeah, hindsight 2020. 2022 now, but you know, hindsight is still 2020. Yeah, a lot of things changed and a lot of things never changed. Some of the things that never changed is just this worrying part where like the one that didn't change the most was me all along. And that's just really, it really gets me thinking, like, over the year. But even then, like, it's like, I feel like I've discovered most about myself this year compared to any other year. And that's kind of weird, don't you think? I mean, it's not really that weird, but, you know. Because I've started, because, you know, you start in idleness. I've thought about things a lot, and I've moved on from a lot of things, and I've started a lot of things as well. But at the same time, it's like, the realization that some of them might never come to fruition. I suppose that's the way I want to put it. It's like, you know, the worry that I've started everything a little bit too late. My life has kick-started just a tad late. You know what I'm saying? Should have been like a stream, honestly, but like I didn't really want people to click into my stream and just like see this. I wanted to like upload this as a video a little bit more. And this being a stream. Yeah. So like, you know, people don't, if people click into it, they don't expect like actual art. So like, there's no misalignment of expectations. I think something like that. It's the composition for this that I want. Uh, I mean, it looks like shit, yes, but I'm just trying to map out where everything should go. I think. I mean, it's just a. Yikes. I'm just gonna go back to. Hello? Oh. I see. I was like, oh no, can't see my pen. I'm gonna go back to the G pen. No, it's just because I'm stupid. I didn't change the layer. I'm done with this. I'm going back to G pen. No. Just don't be stupid, Yuki. Just don't be stupid and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah, after sidetracking all this time, I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's just like every time I sidetrack, I just like, okay, where was I talking about? It's like I'm like a fucking NPC right now. It's like, oh, but where? And then like when you start like having an NPC like recite like a quest dialogue, like the scripted line, and then like you accidentally enter like combat, and then he like has a combat like, hey, what are you doing here? And then like after the combat, you start back at the beginning of the quest line, like the quest dialogue, and then you're like, oh no, cool, fuck, uh-oh. Yeah, that's kind of like what I am right now, I think. The only reason I'm starting with the torso is because I've heard that, from what I've learned, I think apparently starting with the torso is it's like better for body shot. You know, I'm more used to starting with the head. Maybe I should do that instead, honestly. You know, considering a person of my expertise should try to divine my own way forward, as is of many people. Yeah, I'm gonna actually focus on speaking properly now. So basically, I feel like I've made so much more progress this year, but at the same time I feel like I've made no progress. It's kind of like what you're seeing on the screen right now. What? It's kind of like I've spent how many years on this earth? 20 something? Yeah. And so many people are just like really talented artists at like a ripe young age compared to me. Well, that's also because they started early, right? That's what everybody says. And you know that's because they started early. There's no real denying that because they started early, they've been practicing for forever. So I'm not expected, nor I'm not like, you know, supposed to reach their level, nor am I expecting to reach their level. But it's just this dark, really like rut that you kind of realize that you're 20 plus years in and you realize that you've never really made any headway on what you wanted to do this entire time. Yeah? What you've like, and then here we are at the start line that people have gone past about like years ago. Sure, I mean, no one's really expecting anything. It's just something you want to do, right? You're at the start line of something you want to do, and that's perfectly acceptable. And that is also perfectly noble and admirable, but at the same time, it doesn't stop you from thinking, huh, I am just that far away from everybody. Yeah? You get what I mean? It's exactly what I'm feeling about right now, yeah, you see? Trying to flesh out the proportions just a little bit better. I think something like this works out. box, yeah? Maybe we'll turn that line. Yeah, being at the start point at this current point of time, it's just you always it gives you like a little bit of an existential crisis, you see. Well, just personally, I guess. You know, some people don't really have an issue with it, but you know, just personally, I think it's for me a lot of things to consider about my life. Like, there's so many things I wanted to do. Why have I only started it now? And, you know, at this stage of time, will I make it? I mean, the things especially like something like streaming and everything, the things I've wanted to do is usually tied to young age, also. So like, my prime years are slowly approaching its end, and here I am at the start line, you know? It's just kind of bad, right? You would think it is kind of bad, and it honestly is pretty bad, I think. But, you know, if it's something I want to do, it's something I must try to do to make up for all the lost time. The time that I've lost just idling away. Eyesight's here, so it should be something like this. Right. Something like this. There. It's a little bit of a struggle right now. Yeah. You can just see how behind I am just looking at this video. And that's I guess that was kind of like half the point of me trying to do this, because it really irons in the point that I am basically nowhere compared to anyone, but it's just something that I want to strive to do, I guess. And yeah, that's kind of like, I guess that's the point of the video, you know? You see? No, not everything is gonna have a point immediately. Sometimes it takes you 34 minutes of struggling through the points until you eventually decide that you want to talk about it. It looks a little bit big. Okay, it's because the eyes should be higher up. Yep. Should be somewhere around here, yeah? But then, like, that just doesn't really make sense with that. So. Something, just map out the positions of everything real quick, I guess. There's an unfinished work I should be like working on instead, but some circumstances have brought me to do this video instead, so here I am. Something like this, something like that, something like should also be smaller, something like this, something like that, and you know, still not very good at proportioning things, I think. Okay, step back and take a look for a little bit. Yeah. The point was, you know, just to show that I am at the very not start line. I mean, I am at the very starting line of stuff that I've wanted to do for all this time, and I've never managed to do. I think that was kind of like what made me, you know, want to do drawing in this video, to show just how far behind I am on the curve. You get me? I mean, it doesn't make for a very interesting video, but it is just year in review. I haven't made a rant video in like forever, and in fact I haven't made any videos in forever. Oh. Ooh, buddy. Ooh, baby. Fuck. This makes me really like or even really trying, you know? But, you know, trust me, I wish I could try harder. I'm just not very good at it yet. Oh, someone just thrown. I'm not gonna blame much of the circumstances of everything, because I've never really done anything really before, I suppose. It's just taking me time to get used to it. This eye's too big, huh? Just try to focus a little bit. Oh no, the things I've not fucked up on. I'm retconning so many things right now, and I can't even like begin to keep track of like the things I've tried to retcon in this drawing. Oh, fuck me, mate. This is not going very well. Yeah. This shows it. The inability. If there was ever something way more accurate than this, I would be quite shocked. And in fact, the eye is still like a little bit too big, isn't it? By the end of the day. Like, I just literally cannot get the proportions correct for like the two eyes. Maybe I should start with the head. Honestly, This is not going very well. It's been 40 minutes, and here I am stuck. Not even began to draw anything. Let's just put Almanac over here. Yeah. Poke. Oh. Just you know, it's the culmination of only a month worth of drawing. So fucking horrible. But yeah, there's so many things I need to be doing, and there's just like a constant doubt of whether or not I can do it. And like, yeah, even being so free to do everything I want, you realize the grim reality that there is always going to be something that you cannot finish accomplishing in this life. And that's just kind of sad, don't you think? I think it would be easier if I mark out the position of the eyes. But yeah, it's a new year. New year, new me is what they like to say, but everybody knows it's just gonna be the same old me. I think that was like one of the things that I thought about that like also made me want to start this video that I completely forgot about. By the point I started, like I hit the record button. That people like to say new year, new me, and like, you know, really it's new, you know, time is constantly in motion, blah blah blah, all the edgy angsty shit. But you know, if you're not pushing yourself properly, I guess using the new year as an excuse to start pushing yourself properly is, if that works for you, that works for you. But new year, same old me. I just need to move forward and becoming not the same old me is what I think. I think that turned out quite well. I think the position of this looks good. I just need to flesh this one out as well. Yeah, I need to get that back real quick. Just something like this, yeah. Something like this should suffice. This is turning into really quiet because I've been trying to focus on like trying to get the proportions proper. Getting the proportions proper is so important, especially since I'm really new to everything. Can't afford to be messing up in there. Can't afford to be like, you know, misplacing stuff too much in the early stages. We will put the mouth in later. I have this feeling the eyes should still be further up a little bit. Let me just lasso them up. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. It's taken 46 minutes and I've barely gotten a single point in. Let me just sit back and like think about this composition while I talk. So, yeah. The entire year has gone by, and I feel like within the last 7 months of the year where I've been free and trying to put away responsibility as long as I can, and I still am, definitely. I have managed absolutely nothing. Not really. It's because it's one of those situations where, because I've just started doing like a whole bunch of things, and a whole bunch of things are things that I still can't do very well because, you know, if you haven't been paying attention for the past 45 minutes, which obviously you probably haven't. I can't do any of these things very well, and it's very easy to say you've done nothing when you're at the starting line of anything, right? When you're at the starting line of anything, you doing the beginner's basics is realizing that you're basically equivalent to like an elementary school kid, because you've never done any of this. Like, obviously you have drawn in school because in school they make you draw a little bit, and all of that shit I threw away before because I never thought I would draw. And then somewhere along the lines, here I am, starting from the beginning. And it sucks. It sucks to know that you're still nowhere. You don't just going through 20 plus years of your life, however many years of life, if you start doing something at that point, you are at the starting line. You are no different than a kid. And yeah, it's one of those really hard things to accept, but pushing through that is probably going to be harder. And I guess that it's kind of like my goal at the end of the day for this year. You know, people like to set goals for the year. I don't know if I'll go through with it. I hope I can finally go through with something. But the more difficult part about then accepting that you're at the start is realizing that even though you have this earnest feel that you want to keep going from the start, the world's not going to wait for you to restart your life when you're like 20 something. The world's not waiting. You're gonna have to go do something with your life, get a job, study something, and yeah, they're not gonna care that you're like, oh, this is what I want to do this time. That's kind of the difficult part about this reality, is that you want to start over. Tough fucking luck. You're not starting over. I mean that's just a really cynical way of like seeing things, I guess. But like, you know, realistically, there is truth to it, and like, you know, it's just a really negative way to think about it. But I think past a certain point, there is legitimacy to it. I don't doubt that I could, you know, you could carve a path even after all this time. But there's you have to be realistic about how you managed how to manage it from here on out. Chances you've got in life are very small. Not really small, more like the chances you have in life are not many. You have this one life. And next year, it's just gonna be another part of your life, but year after year after year, you're gonna have to contend with the fact that the years have gone by. And eventually you will run out of them. Despite you thinking that you will not. It's really hard to believe that you will run out of them, but you do, eventually. Like I am right now. Especially realizing that years of your life don't matter as much as years of your life that you are allowed to use. You see? Here, I'm a little bit baffled by this perspective. Let me think about this for a moment. Yeah, years of your life you're allowed to use is, you know, you stop having the free reign to choose just like on the whim, like, hey, I would like to do this, and then you get the full freedom of choice to actually do it. Yeah, you at some point you just stop being able to do that, and that's just, you know, reality, I guess. Ah, I'm focused on my drawing again. No. Yeah. Anyway, I know I've sidetracked a lot in this video, but point is, it's just kind of like this way for me to like collect my thoughts on the year. And not really something I've really done much over the years, you know. I don't really think too much about the new year. It's like I am that edgy kid. It was like, oh no, new year, but the passage of time does flow. The passage of time doth flow continuously. The new year but doth signal the movement of time and the passage of the seconds or something like that. That is kind of like the character I used to be, but you know. This proportion doesn't make sense, does it? This is year in review, you know. Sometimes we take a lot of L's, and that's probably most of my life. The good thing I'm doing digital art and I can just readjust everything, right? It's been like almost an hour and I've barely gone a single point in. There was like one good part of like me actually saying some commentary about my life, but from here on out it's just I don't know what to say. Like I thought I had a like before I started recording, I thought I would have a good rhythm. Like it couldn't be that hard to draw while I spoke, right? Turns out you probably shouldn't do that if you're not really well versed in what you're doing. Because then you're gonna end up like this. I wouldn't recommend ending up something like this, you know? It don't work too well. Really. Really. Like, try not to. Plan your days out. Plan your fucking actions out. Okay, that's gonna be the goal for the year, I guess. You know? Plan my actions out. Just a lot of insight on how the year is ending. You know, there's a lot more stuff I want to do, and you know, there are things that I plan to do. Hopefully, I can actually get them done. As of this current point of time, it's just a little bit of me being really stupid and not knowing how to draw. Is kind of the theme that we're going with today. I think something like that, like this, works out quite fine. Yeah, I think that works. I think these are all the general places where things should go, you know. Something like that. Yeah? Right? I think it's more like, you know, not really that accurate, but you know, better than not, yeah. Considering everything. Yeah. I was hoping to get like a little bit more than this in. And like maybe I will, maybe I won't. Hopefully I might add like me doing this for a little bit longer, but I think it's like high time I just started like actually talking about something that yeah, there's gonna be more stuff to do this year, and hopefully what I wanted to say more than not is hopefully I'll manage to bring myself ahead and continue on forward doing this stuff that I like, you know, stuff like this. I mean, I don't think it's terrible progress for like a month-ish, but at the same time, like, it's a whole sequence of events where slowly move forward and realize there's so much more and there's still so much more to do. Onward and onward, there's just more and more and more and more to that. Just drop the brush to continue on doing. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to persevere this time, unlike the many other times in my life, I suppose. I mean, it's just a really like sad post, I guess, to talk about stuff like that. But you know, year changed, world might go back to normal, and like, you know, eventually, I'd say maybe somewhere around this year, yeah. And that's gonna be more difficult for me to deal with than like I give it credit for now, because I'm more of an indoors guy. Anything, I really prefer not to go outside. Maybe there are still opportunities to do things from at home, and you know, maybe I'll manage to work hard enough this year compared to last year. But yeah, I think the entire point is that, like, when you might find your calling somewhere later in life, maybe, like, I don't know, like, it's one thing to say that this is like my calling or something, but it really isn't, because I like it or not, I can't say this is my calling yet, because it's just stuff I want to do and I'm not even good at it yet. But you know, just trying to say that, you know, don't lose sight of what you want, I guess. I mean, it's not really anything I should say. I don't know why I'm trying to turn it into something motivational or anything. It's just like me trying to cheer myself up. Like 2022 comes here, and you know, I will try my best to become better at the stuff I'm trying to do. And that's about all I can say for that. Yeah. Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's just we keep going and keep going, and hopefully someday we'll end up where we want to be. That's the only thing that, the only consistent we can hope for. But yeah, you know, it's been a challenge trying to talk and like do this at the same time. Like, you know, all like when I orange pen, like generally where it's supposed to be, it kind of makes enough sense where things are going so far. So hopefully I'll be able to get something like this done. Like, I still haven't learned to like touch stuff up. That, my mind just went into the gutter when I said touch stuff. And like, don't be like me. Just don't end up like me and have your mind in the gutter all the time. But you know, another year passes, and yet the end is still not in sight. Where is the end? Nobody knows. Which path shall you take? Nobody knows either. And hopefully we all figure out our individual paths in this world is all that I'm hoping for. Yeah, maybe I'll be able to be more cheerful in the next videos. I still need to upload all my stuff, and like, I started playing Tales of Arise and I never really got back into it because of all of Final Fantasy Endwalker, and I have not done any footage for it because I started streaming a little bit of it and then it's gone. Like I don't think the archive's out anymore by this time. Like it's fucking gone, and it's just kind of sad because it was lagging so badly I couldn't really get anything. It was just like completely sidetracked from the thing, you know? Like it's like, I mean, like we're looking back at the previous year, so like this kind of makes sense to talk about, right? You know, I tried to like do stuff for Final Fantasy 14, but then like I realized it's gonna take way too long. So like I'm really impatient when I play something like that, especially since like you have a whole bunch of people still going forward, and like I want to play as fast as I can, and I can narrate everything as I go if I want to go fast. So like I finished it, and like I guess the biggest first plan for this year is to do the Savage tier, which will be happening, I guess. I just wanted to collect my thoughts on the previous year here. You know, I will be streaming Savage. I mean, who's even gonna watch like all the way up to this point and hear this part, unless I chapter the videos properly, where like a whole bunch of that stuff like where some parts where something happens and some parts where things don't happen, which is like currently some things are being said, unlike the past hour. Only like maybe 10 minutes worth of like actual speaking actually happened here, instead of just me like rambling constantly about the same goddamn thing that like you just hear me repeat and repeat because my train of thought never advanced, because I keep resetting my train of thought. And in fact, this what I'm saying right now is basically a rehash of the original train of thought, right? What this video was basically is just, coupled with the background, it was supposed to be something like, the year has been fruitful in making me discover what I want to do. Every year is going to be something like that. People stagnate, but whenever you find something that you don't want to just sit on, and you want to push forward and actually do it, you should, I guess, nothing's stopping you, I guess, something like that. And it's just kind of like this documentation to like remind myself that I am at the start and I want to keep on going despite having had not much to go on for the past 20 plus years of my life. Maybe just maybe I'll break out of the loop and manage to make something nice out of all of this. Who knows, maybe I'll continue drawing, singing, streaming. I don't know. It's just something I really wanted to do. And like, I realized that even with all the freedom afforded, and it is attributed to the freedom of time I've been afforded to, so that like I started like journeying down this avenue a little bit. But even with all that time afforded, I realized that it's very hard still to keep yourself motivated by your self-motivating, especially after a whole lifetime's worth of hearing, just doing what you're supposed to do. I guess that's just kind of like the main point of that. But yeah, I think that is what I want to say. Like, I'm just trying to like collect my thoughts on that again. And let me drink a little bit of water for that. I think right after this I'll boot up the Twitch stream and do some random raids, just to like make sure the stream settings are going properly for Savage Day. That's so sidetrack, like complete sidetrack. Fuck. That was such a complete sidetrack. And I feel like I haven't been projecting my voice that well, because I've also been like really deep in thought over a whole bunch of things, especially like, making sure like trying to like get an idea of what I'm drawing as well. And yeah, Basically, looking back on previous year, pretty good, I'd say, but not nearly good enough. Yeah, that's about it. My progress is, very clearly on the screen right now. I'm not doing anything because I need to concentrate on speaking. It's a lot easier to concentrate on when I'm playing a game instead. Playing games is just so much more natural because I've been playing so much over the course of my years. I guess maybe that's also something I want to talk about, like right about now. I guess playing games is it's not really a path. Like, I've been forced to think about playing, like, especially I guess it's still in the context of the previous year thing, but playing games is different for everybody, especially since I've got back into Final Fantasy 14. It's something I've realized about what a game means to everybody. Like any different person, there's just so many people who play games for different reasons. Like, you don't have to try very hard in games, and it's made me think about what video games are to me as well. And ever since I've stopped playing Apex Legends for Final Fantasy 14, I mean, I've not really stopped it. It's just right now there's just so much Final Fantasy 14 to be played that I can't find the time to play Apex Legends. Even though I don't really do much outside of playing games for a while. Huh. It really puts into perspective, like, have I been trying too hard on games? And like, have I been, because I've been doing that, have I been avoiding reality for a little bit too much? Which has caused me to, like, recontemplate what place games should have in my life right now. And I think that is also a major takeaway from this year for me, because I need to make sure I have my priority system correct. Maybe I shouldn't have been playing so much games. Maybe nothing might come out of it, but I think playing games is, I see people who like, have their life figured out, but like, have their life figured out? I don't know. But like, they lead a more stable life than, someone like me with no real commitment as of now. And they still play games pretty hardcore. And like, I guess that must mean that they've chosen properly for themselves already. So, what of me? What's my choice on this? So yeah, that has got me to think really, really hard. But yeah, hopefully that's an answer I'll slowly come to realize. It's all a process that slowly comes and goes, I think. Maybe. Like, I mean, all of this, when talking about all of these life decisions, like, how do you think about life? What's your perspective on X thing in life? It's really subjective, I suppose. And what it comes down to, basically, is just, you have to figure out what you want to do before you get swept away with no choice left. It brings me to think about all of the years I've spent, and all, like, maybe that I might regret, that I've never looked and, like, reached out to anything, never latched onto something outside of playing video games. Just made me think a little bit. And maybe it's just the new year making me feel a little bit melancholic about this. I guess that's what the new year does to people. You know, just a passage of time. But if it's a... So, oh, I feel so weird thinking about this like that. I used to never think that holidays meant anything. It's just another day. And yes, it is just another day. But I guess if it has meaning enough for you to think back on the things that you have to, and like reflect on what you are, what's important to you, and you know, changes, like gets you out of the mindless rhythm for just a little bit, just to think and reevaluate what you are and what you want to do. I think it's a meaning. I think there's meaning in it. I guess it's just like birthdays, just like any other thing. It's just a way to snap you out of reality and make you rethink of it. I think that's a good way to think about it. The days itself don't really mean anything, but what really means something is the thoughts behind any of it. I guess maybe I'm just growing sentimental of age. I'm just getting old. 20-something year old. I'm just getting old. It's something I still like to say it, but it really does feel. You really feel old, like especially when you, like, if you're like me, you just got shocked out of like a whole lifetime's worth of stagnation, and you've never really moved on from being a teenager or a child like I have. I guess maybe people might relate to that. Like maybe I've heard people who relate to that. But yeah, it does. You just start to feel really old if you've like skipped that many years of like developing being actual human being like I have. And like hopefully I'll continue to become better. I'm still trying my best to you know, make sure I stay productive. Awkwardly laugh. I also need to stop awkwardly laughing so much, I guess. I remember just sidetrack again. I remember like for school we had to get short internships, or just because it's part of the curriculum, and I failed one of the interviews, which is like unheard of, like literally unheard of between like among like a fuck ton of people. It's unheard of because they know you're there for an internship and they're like partner of your school. So the way I failed the interview was because of exactly what I was talking about, because I start awkwardly like uncomfortably laughing a lot, especially like trying to like calm myself on my nerves, like just trying to like collect myself a little bit. Like I need to keep a calm mind and just kind of like barge forward without hesitation. If I start thinking about it, I just start slowing down, and then it's like at the very moments at which I feel the discomfort, I'll start like just like laughing a little bit like that. Yeah, like that. And you know, it's a recurring theme across the entire video. You'll see it. It's a really bad habit, and that's exactly what failed me my interview before. And that was such a mess too. Like it was a really fucking big mess. And I like my lecturer would be like, "What the fuck? You failed it?" They're like, "Yeah, I just heard back. They don't want you." I'm like, "Huh?" Wait, but I was being really like I was being quite serious. I tried really hard. And then it's just like they're like, "Oh yeah, this guy was really weird. He was laughing all this time." I was like, taking this as a joke. I'm like, oh fuck, really? That's how it seemed like? No, I'm not trying to make it seem like it. I wasn't trying to make it seem like a joke. I was just really out of my element. I was really uncomfortable because I'm not used to like speaking to people like that much. Yeah, you kind of get what I'm saying. Yeah, it was really just like that. It is something I have to snap out of. Just keep my mind straight. And maybe I won't go into a looping train of thought all the time. And within these fucking 10 minutes, or like 5 minutes past, I've gone way more speech in, because I've just been like diving straight at straightforward. I guess that's maybe something I should work on also for the coming year. Yeah. I mean, I guess when I'm playing Apex Legends, everything just flows out a little bit better also because it's a little bit more mindless than this. Yeah. I guess it has been a fruitful. I mean, if you watch all of this, it's not been fruitful at all. Like, you know it's not been fruitful. You haven't done jack shit if you've been listening through like an hour plus of this. I think I'll try to see if I can leave chapters where I'm actually talking about something important. Hopefully, if anybody ever sees this, just this starting chapter of my journey. But yeah, I'll see you people soon as I maybe finally put up another episode of Endless that I have been putting off for fucking forever because God knows I've been trying to draw. I haven't done anything singing related for a while. I'm trying to focus on drawing. Still playing Endwalker. Get all the grinding through for the Savage days. And then, I'll try to stagnate a little bit on Final Fantasy and start to focus on actually doing everything. So hopefully within maybe in the coming month, a lot of things will come out. Hopefully. Because yeah, we'll go with that. We will have more stuff in the coming month. It is very very hard to put out stuff when I have so many things I have to figure out that I have not figured out before. Video editing is so slow because I'm so bad at it. But yeah, mark my words, I will do it though. I must. Okay, there is no must. I just wanted to try to emulate bullshit. You know what? Okay, I'm rambling. Oh, maybe I think I'll keep recording. I'll be doing a little bit more of the drawing, then I'll stream. So I guess I'll have to edit this video too. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe you'll see a little bit more of. At the end, just actually focus on drawing instead of speaking. Yeah. Ciao.